leaked voice note from nurse that was at the autopsy.
As opposed to drowning, because if you had drunk, then we would have had more fluid, we would have had more inflation. But then we had like, it was slightly inflated, like somebody, like they can suffocate you, and then when you die, it's like you kind of feel, so your airway becomes constricted, and then limited air and limited anything can go down there. So then they didn't find her long after she was dumped in there, so the water barely get to seep in the lungs. So it's like, instead of it being like a drunk lungs like this, it's like this. Alright?
Stop. From the top. Remember everyone said your medical terms, right?
I see, I was choking, suffocation.
So what got swollen? What got swollen like?
Nothing got the lungs itself. If the water had to seep in through the alveoli and bronchioli, the branches of the lungs, right? Then it would have been more inflated. It would have been more big.
So what you're saying, that if water gets into the lungs from drunk, then
it's gonna be a bit more big, and it's gonna be more kind of like.
So that can show up on an X-ray without you doing any actually cutting a person. Can show up on a scan.
It can show that it has.
So
it can show that it have water in the lungs as well as the level of water.
The enlargement of the whatsoever we're talking about.
It's gonna show that it's enlarged.
So you don't have to actually cut the person to see that inside. Makes sense for us, understand?
So from when they did it first time, I'm like, this is not drowning. But so they asked me to observe. I wasn't paid, and when I reached in there, they asked me to. Everybody had to write their name and stuff. But Frank called me like around 10 in the morning, so I wasn't officially was gonna go on it, just because he trying, because I told you, like, I do a fucking job for him. So he called me next, like, I can go, and I was like, oh my god. It's like, okay, no problem, I'm gonna go. So when I asked everybody to actually write their name on it, obviously I'm not gonna write my name because I know this shit is shit. they passing this stuff around with name, designation, department, things like that, and where you're working, and which if I'm on the ministry or on the GPHC or whatever. So Dr. Caleb, he wrote his name, everybody wrote his name, and it passed wrong after me. I pretend like I wrote my name, and I passed it wrong back. Everybody wrote his name, and so they asked me what I think. I told them it's more consistent with suffocation. It was like the guy from Mount Zion, he was like, I agree. The guy from Delaware, he was like, I agree too, because the oxygen, if it was a drowning, then it wouldn't have it looked as if that person died at least 9 hours before the water got into the lungs, because the oxygen already I don't know if you understand. Anyway, it's hard for you to understand, but
explain.
Anyway, the oxygen, the circulation and everything had already decreased. It looks like it looks like almost like a necrotic tissue, like it was black.
That's in the lungs?
Yeah, it almost looked like a necrotic tissue. So I'm like, this is not consistent with drowning. It was like, yeah, we agree, it's more consistent. So like somebody put something over your mouth, the oxygen level drop, the oxygenated blood cannot go, so you died. And when you died, you stay there a while, because if they had do that and then put her in the pool right away, it would have still go as if the person drowned.
Okay.
Right? Because remember, your body take a while before it actually completely shut down. So they waited almost, that's from my timings, approximately 9 hours before they actually put her in that pool. So I'm telling them she did not drown. Then the fucking jackasses gone out there. They called the family, and of course they was saying, okay, everybody come to a conclusion that she died, because a lot of them was on the phone inside the room, which is you're supposed to turn off your phone. And then they was like, oh, she drowned. At that point I was ready to go home, because I didn't know how to feel about that. I know the level of victimization is going to come if I see anything. That's why I did not sign my name, because when push comes to shove, you're not going to see Les King on that signature on that thing. I wasn't officially appointed to go to that thing. They asked me a favor to come and look over, and I gave my opinion from the pulmonary side, and I gave my opinion. So then when we come out and they said that, it makes me feel as though I am part of the cover-up. I'm just as guilty as them. You understand?
So what do you think about your safety? What you think about this?
I did not tell you. It was probably the second person I tell. And of course, you're not recording me.
Well, don't tell nobody you told me, please.
No,
I don't want nobody come look
I
at
would
me.
never tell nobody. Why would I even tell someone? I was just feeling pissed about this shit. And another thing too, she was sexually molested. It's sad to say.
What the fuck? You serious right now?
She was sexually molested. And it looks as though either she was dragged or whatever they use, it have abrasion, like lots of abrasion, like deep fucking abrasion. When I had my bike accident, I have like a mark behind my leg here, and I had like a lot of abrasion on my leg. It was like that. It felt like when I saw her skin, it felt like when I fall down with that bike and I slide on the highway, how my skin was. That's how it looks. And then it looks as if it's like normal putting alcohol on a cut, it kind of like discolored your skin. Like you have a cut and you throw some alcohol, kind of discolored.
Okay.
So imagine throwing some other chemicals. I don't know what sort of chemical it was, but it discolored it to make it seem as though it's consistent with drowning, but it's not consistent with drowning. This is not my first supposedly drowned victim. I was in the interior as an emergency nurse. We had people that got covered. I witnessed some 3-person got covered in the mudslide and it was under the water, and then when they come out, they had nothing like that. Nothing was consistent with drowning there. But everything is political. That's why I was so fucking upset. I called Frank and I tell him, I said, I think this time I made up my mind to go to Canada because I think you called me to fuck with my mental health. I said, you guys know exactly what you was gonna rule out. Then if you was gonna rule out, why the fuck you call me? As if you want the truth. Why did you call me? Why did you call me to examine the lungs when you know I have children too? Why did you call me? So that I went home Monday night. When I was leaving the coma, everything was a cover because, and then they wanted, like, I don't know, they thought I read my ex. So when I was coming out, I said I was going to the CEO. He came same time. When Travis talked to him earlier, because I was looking at Travis just like before Frank called me, and he was asking him, and he was like, he have no comments on that, and that's not on his level, the CEO for Georgian Hospital. And then suddenly he was well involved, so he was informed. Everybody was informed. Everybody was fine and covered. So when I was ready to, when I was leaving now, he was like, Nurse King, you might have to park your car in the compound, and we're gonna drop you home because you see how this hooligans going on. So I said, I didn't kill this girl. I'm not part of your little cover-up. So I have nothing to worry about. I said, I'm going to take my car out and do it. Like, if anything happens to you, it's on our behalf, and Frank is going to deal with us, and he's going to do this. I said, well, he definitely got to deal with y'all. I collect my car first. I went to the gate.
The voice note was leaked of the young lady that was allegedly a part of the post-mortem and the autopsy, and she was having a conversation with an individual, and it was leaked, and now there's a wanted bulletin out for her saying that, you know, she's spreading public terror and what's not. But my thing is this, for a second we're gonna forget the fact that she has this information. We're not gonna forget it. She's okay, we're gonna just put it to the side. We can get back to the information. I feel like they should arrest the guy because, first of all, he's recording her unknowing to her knowledge, right? Y'all bear with me, go through the video. She doesn't know that she's being recorded, right? There's one. My next thing is, why would you be so insensitive to not even try to freaking protect the person's identities? Basically, you're saying you don't care. Why would you? Another person already lost their life. It's like putting somebody else's life in danger, bro. And you already know the type of attack that is going on right now on anyone that is trying to or stemming to speak out on what's really going on. Why would you do something like that? Why not put even an anime voice over the voice? Change it up. Why would you even release the person's name, bro? And this is why everybody's so scared to come to front to even trust anybody to give them any information that they know or they claim they know. Allegedly, we're gonna put it away. My next thing is this, the information that she gives to the young man, or she was having the conversation that she was having with the young man. I mean, if he even take this stuff and tell you know what, go, let have the conversation with the parents, tell them what you know and stuff like that, and you know, at least they will try to protect her identity and all that stuff. And there's the problem, bro. People can't even trust y'all for even give y'all no information. No, you just create such a great blockage whereby she's not gonna speak anymore. She's not going to, and even if she was willing to, she's not going to anymore. Because she's gonna be silent, allegedly. They're gonna silence her, allegedly. So we don't know. Y'all just walking wild. I get we want to get this thing done, but let me do this thing the right way. Protect every single individual that is giving any information. Protect them. Protect them. You get me? That's all, man. This is crazy. It is crazy. A wanted bulletin already for a conversation that she was having with an individual that recorded her against her will, which we get, and we want the recording to be out. But we could have do this shit in a better manner, bro. We could have get the information out and also protect the individual identity. So please, y'all, if y'all doing this stuff, y'all do this stuff in the right manner, man. Now look where y'all put the girl in, bro.